Yeah, I guess the big thing about camp is our NFL expose last night. Had a great night last night on ESPN. Victor Cruz, as I'm sure you guys saw, had a tremendous night, as well as Vlad Dukas, James Ahead. It was a great night for UMass football on TV nationwide. And Vic, who holds the record? I guess the question is, who holds the record for the most TDs ever in the new Giant Stadium? Anybody? Victor Cruz, all right. So yes, we're off to a great start. Those guys are having a great camp, and all the guys, Brandon London out with the Steelers for the NFL, and Jeremy Horn out with the Chiefs. The guys are doing very well, and I'm very excited about Jeremy Miles. Did you guys see his hit the other night on Tim Tebow? So he lit him up a little bit. So UMass is doing real well in the NFL. Here back at home, having a good camp. We're through week one right now. Had a good live scrimmage on Saturday. Very clean on both sides. We made some great gains, and we're a very young team overall that's looking to mature, by week one. There's no time to waste this year coming out. We've got to be ready to go from the get-go, and that's our plan, and that's what we're working towards right now.
You taught Victor that technique on the first catch?
Hey, that's all Vic. That is all Vic. That's what we loved about Vic when he was here. We saw that plenty of times on the game fields here out at UMass. What a great first catch, 64-yard touchdown. It was the top 10 play. It was the #1 play in the top 10 ESPN Sports Center. We're so fired up for Vic right now. And I guess Jason put on the internet that LeBron had him on his Twitter page or something asking who Vic Cruz was. So it's big. It's big for Vic. It's great for Vic. He's a great kid. He's worked so hard. He was a great player for us, and we're very, very excited about his success last night.
Can you talk about your two running backs with Hernandez and Griffin?
Yeah, John Griffin transferred in from Northeastern when they dropped football, unfortunately, last year. And we had John Hernandez step in for Tony Nelson when Tony Nelson got hurt last year. So Tony Nelson was a first-team All-League tailback, got banged up last year. John Hernandez stepped up, did a marvelous job for us, very tough and fast runner for us. Now we get John Griffin, who was a first-team All-League tailback this year. So we think we're pretty strong at tailback with those two guys. Actually, we know we're strong at tailback with those two guys.
How about Emil's leadership style, too, and what he's done for the team?
Yeah, Emil Guinagu is a junior now. Was voted he's an H-back, tight end, fullback for us, and was voted captain by his peers. And he's a quiet leader, but he was voted by unanimously by his peers, for that role because they know he goes about his business seriously. He's an excellent worker. He's a tremendous player, and has been an excellent leader for us so far this fall.
And Brandon Potvin coming off a redshirt year, looks to be in the mix at defensive line.
Absolutely, yeah. Brandon, really tough kid. You saw him in high school, Kevin, and really strong, physical player, and he's there for you every day. And he's going to be the same guy for us, just like we anticipated.
And Rob Blanchflower, kind of the same situation, got a year under his belt to learn the system and seems to be in the mix to a tight end.
Yeah, he's very much in the mix. Had another great day yesterday and today. He's really starting to blossom, understand the offense, and going up and getting the ball in the air and being very physical in the run game. So we're looking for Rob to play a very important role for us this fall.
And what does it say about the Central Mass guys, too, that so many of them have come here and put an impact on the program?
Well, it's Central Mass, it's Eastern Mass, it's Western Mass. We want Mass kids in the program. They've got to have an impact. They're the foundation of our program here at UMass.
And then how optimistic are you about the seasons right now so far going in, having a full year or two to look at things and tweak things the way you want them?
Yeah, well, we're very optimistic. If you're not optimistic right now, then it's going to be a long, long year, and we're not looking forward to that at all. We're looking for these young guys to really get up on the map. You're talking about the Potvins and the Blanchflowers, young guys like that need to step up, and they're stepping up right now for us. And we're very excited to get going. Like we said, we got William & Mary game 1. That's a CAA game, and every CAA game is extremely tough. So we've got to be ready to go and mature, and these young guys got to step up for us to be good.
How big is it to have the first two at home, too, before you go to Michigan?
Oh, it's great. I mean, Michigan's far away on the horizon. We've got William & Mary, and that's it. I mean, we're looking at one home game to open. I'm very excited to open at home. Conference opponent who did very well last year. So that's as far as we can go right now.
Good. Coach, you'd seen John Griffin from the opposite sideline before. What have you seen in him now that he's on your sideline?
Oh, all the same on the tape. I mean, he is fast, #1, and he brings great speed to the program. But he's also a senior, and it's, how often are you able to get a senior to come into your program who's a first-team All-League back in your own league? I mean, he brings all that experience, that leadership. He's very professional in how he goes about his business, and he's done very well, and our young guys are really looking up to him.
Are some of those Northeastern guys, are they comfortable stepping in to be leaders as older guys, even though they're first year in the program?
Yeah, they have, as well as the Northeastern and the Hofstra guys with Anthony Nelson, who's a senior also. Part of our recruiting pitch was just that. We have a very small senior class, and like I mentioned, we're going to be a young team. So with those guys coming in, those are the guys we targeted in the recruiting process when those programs fell through, to try to bring in some older guys who had some senior leadership qualities that could come in and help our team along and help them in a hurry. And those guys have fulfilled that role so far.
What's the latest with the quarterbacks? Is the decision made? Still a competition?
Yeah, no, Kyle's our quarterback. Kyle's gonna be, if we start tomorrow, Kyle'll be the starting quarterback, and it's his team, and he's got to, like we talked about, we had our ups and downs last year, and he was at the helm when that happened. So now he's got to mature from that and grow from that, and he has. And, he's a different kid coming out this fall from last when he was in the shadow of Liam Cohen and a whole new team. Well, that's all by the wayside. Now it's his squad, and the players are performing around him because of that.
Could you tell right from day one that he was a different quarterback?
Yeah, it happened, in the winter, then through the spring. I think through the winter he was still figuring it out, trying to get going in our winter workouts, and then the spring a little bit as well. But, by the end of spring and into the summer, I think he started getting, hey, I understand it. I know what you're expecting now. I know what the team needs me to do as a leader, and so it's been a real positive fall for us in that regard. And at the same time, the door was certainly open, for Ian Schultes and Brandon Hill and Ray Pendergrass and Jesse Hunt to come in and take the job like it is at every position. And if they came in and lit it up and right away, then they'd be the starting guy. Right now it's Kyle. The door is still open for some guy to come through, and that's true at every position as well. But it's Kyle's spot, and those young guys are still trying to figure it out and get in the mix on a high level.
Do you want to just use one during the season, or are you open to using multiple quarterbacks at points?
Yeah, I've been a one quarterback guy, and take the horse and let him ride and let him figure it out as he goes. But for each year is different, so it's whatever's best for the team. If it's a 2 quarterback rotation system, then that's what we'll go with. I mean, that hasn't been my past history, but it doesn't mean it can't be the future if it's going to make us win a national championship.
Last year, the quarterback competition went most of the preseason camp. Is it somewhat of a relief in your mind, you sound much more settled right now than you were at this point last year?
Yeah, I think that's because it's been proven on the field, Ron. I mean, it's not me making a decision just arbitrarily on my own. It's out on the field. The guys are showing what they can do, and that's where the decisions are made.
Can you talk about the versatility that Emil gives you on offense as a tight end, fullback, H-back, different things you can do or he can do?
Yeah, I mean, Emil came in initially. I mean, he was a great high school tailback. And so he came in as a linebacker, and then we tried him at D-end, and we were begging for him on offense the whole time, and we finally got him on offense. And he is a tight end. He can play tight end, and then we started moving around H-back and even back into a 21 personnel set fullback. So that versatility alone, when we come out on the field, when he's out there, number 83, the defense has got to prepare for 2 tight end sets, fullback sets, and as well as no tight end sets, because we can flex them out.
What's the biggest difference for you from year 1 to year 2?
Well, I guess it's like anything, you go through the role, you know what to expect, but it's having done it. Been there and done it. Now, I can kind of set my own plan and in motion what I'm trying to get accomplished with probably better vision and better goal-oriented, and in terms of not only the daily agendas and practices, but also for the kids as an overall goal. So, I think we're much more comfortable overall. The kids understand the plan and process, and we're trying to obviously excel and meet those demands.
Kevin, turnovers a bit of an issue last year. Is that something you've been emphasizing in practice, holding onto the football, taking it away, and is that more of a mental thing, or is that a physical thing you can work on in drills?
What, turnovers?
Turnovers, yes.
Did you go to any of our games last year?
I did.
All right. I forgot all about them. You brought them back up. Thanks, I appreciate that. No, absolutely no. Turnovers were huge for us last year. I mean, we were 5-6 for a reason, and we gave games away. In the CAA, you turn the ball over, you're going to lose. So yeah, from the minute we finished, obviously during the season last year we were turning it over, but from the minute the season was over, we were all about the ball. That's been our slogan through the winter, through the spring, and again in the fall. It's all about the ball for us on offense, maintaining possession and security, driving the ball up and down the field, as well as defensive going and getting the ball and stripping it out, making interceptions and turning the ball over that way. So it's all about the ball for us. You're exactly right. And we need to be that if we're going to win the CAA championship. Absolutely.
Coach, you have 2 juniors as captains. Describe what they bring to the table as far as leaders to this team. I mean, it's not often do you see juniors take this kind of a leadership role.
Yeah, well, we have a small senior class to begin with, so I think that opens the door up for other guys to blossom earlier, and these 2 guys really did. I mean, they're not rah-rah guys. They're just down-home, blue-collar workers, and I think that's what UMass is all about, and our guys appreciated that, and the players voted them unanimously. Say these are the guys that we want in front to be our focal point for the publicity and all that, but also to make the demands in the locker room, to get the guys in line when they need to get in line and pumping up when they're down and get them to win football games. So they picked the right 2 guys, I think.
Yeah, individually, for each one of them, like Emil, what does he offer as a leader?
He's just solid work. We can put him anywhere on the field and everybody knows it. He plays on just about all our special teams. He's a team player 100%. I think the guys respected that and said, hey, here's a guy who does everything that's asked and does it well. And he gets it right the first time. And that's the big thing we talk about here at UMass, is getting it right the first time. And Emil's one of those guys. Tyler is, Tyler's come along and he's gotten a lot of press in preseason for All-American, and rightfully so. He had a great sophomore year for us. Now he's a true sophomore. Now he's going to be a true junior, and he's gotten all these awards. So for him to get named captain, I think a lot of it's because he's such a good player on the field, and he does everything right the first time off the field. That the kids say, hey, here's a guy that we can rally around because he's going to make plays for us, and he's going to lead us in the right way in the locker room.
Coach, you're fortunate to have two proven running backs. How are you going to kind of divvy up minutes between them, and you're going to have more of a run-focused offense this year?
Well, if you talk to some people, that's all we do is run the ball. It all depends on your percent. We want to be balanced. We still want to be a balanced offense. We want to throw the ball to open up the run. We want to run the ball to open up the throw. In the end, we've always been a little more run because we like to have the lead in the fourth quarter and then pound the rock and finish out the clock and win the ball game that way. So we want to still be that 55-45 run to pass. With these two guys, yeah, maybe we'll go 65-35. Whatever it takes to win a game. If we have to throw it 70 times, we'll do that. If we got to run it 70, we'll run it 75. And with those two guys at tailback, I think you can pound it 70 if you needed to.
Are they pretty even in terms of 1A, 1B sort of thing? Are you looking at them as both starter types?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. These guys, I believe, are both top of the line CAA tailbacks, and will be used accordingly.
Do you talk at all about the preseason polls and all that stuff with your guys?
No, yeah, I think the preseason polls are all about, if you're on top, you don't pump it up to your guys because you don't want to get big-headed, and if you're on the bottom, you use it as a motivational tool. For us, it's not. I'm not a big preseason guy. Like preseason All-American, that's great, good for you. That's based on last year's performance, not this year's. Who's voting in the poll and all that. It makes no difference to us. We want to come out and prove it on the field every day, get better every day. And like we said, we're all just all about us right now, trying to mature as a team so we can get ready to play William & Mary. And then William & Mary in some polls is ranked #1 in the nation. And again, that's great for them, I guess. For us, we just got to come out, win that ball game, and then whatever ranking we get or not get, it really makes no difference. It's all about the end of the year, making the playoffs and being the CAA championship.
To play a good team like that right off the bat instead of maybe playing a team that isn't quite as good, what kind of a challenge is that for a coaching staff to get ready for the first game?
Well, it's a CAA game, so when you're playing a conference opponent day one, you better be prepared, well prepared, and so we've been focused since the end of last year trying to get ready for William & Mary. So it's big when you're playing conference. No matter how everybody in our conference is good, so you better be ready to play week 1 against William & Mary, and that's been our total focus for the last year.
How have the conference changes affected the program this year on and off the field?
It hasn't affected us at all. It's still, it was a 12-team league that went down to 10 teams, but we're still playing everybody in conference. It has made no difference in the scheduling whatsoever. It's still a 10-team league now. It's going to go up to 12 again with the addition of Old Dominion, Georgia State. So for us, it's really no difference at all. It's just, it's a league game. Whether it's 10-team league or 12, it's still the CAA. It's still the best conference in the country.
What about the assimilation of Greg Nyland and Chad?
Yeah, from Northeastern we had also, besides John Griffin, who got a lot of hype for his first team All-League, which he deserves. Greg Nyland is a kid that came in. He got actually a good number of recommendations. We have a nomination for him for captain. He got a good number of nominations, and he'd only been here since December. And what a quality young man. He's a senior. Very much a leader on our team. He can play left tackle, left guard, or center, and so we're moving him around to see where he fits our situation best right now. And he had a great spring for us at left tackle. But we're trying to find the best 5-0 lineman overall. But Greg's a very mature young man, very bright, and a great football player. We can't be any more excited about having him in our program. Chad Hunt's a freshman who's playing linebacker and played linebacker as a true freshman and special teams for Northeastern. So he's a true sophomore for us, and he'll do those same things here for us. And he's another real quality player.
Do you have a depth chart yet?
No, depth charts are week 1 going into William & Mary. We got to get things settled down, and it's really not so much the depth offense defense. It's your special teams, making sure your special teams guys are in order, and who the guys are going to be on the bus, so to speak, and in terms of that first team, second team on punt and kickoff, punt return, kick return, getting those positions lined up. And the offense defense a lot of times just takes care of itself.